Hey guys, Jonas here. In this episode, I want to touch on one of the first steps of the pre-production process. How to come up with an idea for a story and then how to develop that idea into a working outline for a film. And there's of course not just one single right way to do this. You can obviously tell stories about practically anything. But I want to bring up 4 different things that are good to consider even before writing up a script and way before picking up a camera and start shooting. These 4 things are picking a topic, defining your target audience, defining your hook. What is it that will keep people watching your film? And then what is your take-home message? All right, let's start with picking a topic. It's interesting, a lot of people actually ask us where we get ideas to the videos that we make, and I find that question a little bit difficult to answer because I feel that there are so many stories out there to be told. But I think one of the key things is that you should base it around something that you find interesting, something that you feel fascinating, something that you're passionate about and that you want to share. For Rob and I, we started as scientists and we felt that there were so many stories within the science field that we wanted to share with others. We started out documenting species around the world and bringing those stories back to the classroom. We were documenting biodiversity in Mexico.
But not this golden-cheeked woodpecker.
Filming up on mountaintops, down in the water, in the ocean. We were filming rainforests. And then we worked with teachers and we worked with students and we brought back those stories to the classroom, all in an effort trying to inspire the students to understand the value of nature and the value of the species that we have found so fascinating. And these were stories that we at least thought would be interesting to people that were not linked to the science community, people that were actually not scientists at all, just the general public. And we thought that these stories, even though they were science related, would still be interesting for that audience. And that was our main goal. We wanted to try and reach outside of the science community. And that brings me to point number 2, defining your target audience.
Target audience, take 3.
Most of the time when we work with clients, especially new ones, and we ask the question, what do you want the target audience to be for this video? They often answer us with everybody. It should be something that everybody should watch. And as much as we want to make videos that are watchable to everybody, that's not really how it works. We need to define the target audience better. If we look at the science videos that we make, for example, a video on the same topic would probably look quite different if our target audience was for elementary school students.
Elemental metals are the perfect conductor.
Or scientists in the same field.
Sharks as apex predators play a large role in maintaining balance in the ecosystem, but it's really hard to show that with empirical data.
Or if we made it for policy-making politicians specifically. That's not saying that the video needs to be boring for one group and fun for another group, but it's just a really important thing to keep in mind when we start the scripting process. It is a viewer's market, and even big networks keep this in mind when they develop the shows that we see on TV. So the third thing I want to bring up is what we essentially call the hook. Why should someone stick around and watch the film? And I think this is a topic that is a little bit sensitive because obviously we love the work that we put out and we get a little bit offended when someone doesn't want to watch it. But in this day and age, we're basically fed with videos all the time, every day. And as filmmakers, there is this competition for watch time, and that competition is pretty tough. And I think if you're looking at the hook for a big screen film, for example, the hook was already when you saw the trailer, maybe months ago.
This is his last chance to save the world. The best movie of all time.
You go to the movies and you watch the film, you're likely not going to leave. But the online platforms and the online channels are going to work a lot differently. Assuming that you get someone to click on the video, then how can you get them to stay and stick around and watch until the end? On online platforms, that usually means starting the video with some of your best shots. What the best shots are going to be dependent, first of all, on the target audience. Here is one example.
Yeah, go for it. Whoa!
Now you may have seen a Rubens tube before. That's basically a pipe with a bunch of holes in it, and you pump in a...
And this is another completely different example.
In the Polish countryside, a decades-old legend of Nazi riches.
They put all of this treasure on this train track to try to hide all of the loot.
A monster trove of Third Reich plunder, rumored to be buried deep inside a remote mountain fortress.
You wonder why they built this bunker in here.
So defining that hook to get people to stay and watch the rest of the video is important. And I think at the very least, we want to get them to stay long enough to get the take-home message. And that brings me to the fourth point. I was mentioning before that trying to define the target audience for especially new clients could be a little bit difficult in the beginning. And when it comes to the take-home message, we're kind of dealing with the same thing. A lot of especially new clients want to pack in too much information into the same video. And a lot of times that means that we're running the risk of losing viewers because we're making the story too complex. It could be too many interviews or too many side stories, that kind of stuff. So say we have a video on something like climate change. There could be so many different routes we can go about telling that story, and so many different take-home messages we could take from that. We could be something as simple as saying that climate change is real. It could be a call to action that we need to do something, or it could be something more specific like climate change are killing coral reefs. What I'm trying to say is that it's really important that we narrow down the story and compress it to something that is digestible for the viewer. Something that could be a conversation starter at dinner, or something that people can talk about at work. That is what I mean with take-home message. Okay, I hope you guys learned something from these relatively simple tips. Remember, this is just one of the videos in the whole filmmaking process series that we have going on here. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all our patrons for helping what we do, helping support what we do. Without you guys' help, we would not be able to do all this stuff. Stay tuned for the next video, and thanks for watching.
I just ask the questions and you answer them.